As you've no doubt seen by now, for better or worse, ebooks have arrived in the magic world. Sure, ebooks have been on the fringes of the magic scene for a while, but with my employer Vanishing Ink announcing that pretty much every book they've ever published is available as an ebook, the game has changed. The question is this a good thing or a bad thing for the magic world? The advocates of magic ebooks will cheer knowing that there are some significant advantages: cost, portability, and availability, among other advantages. Those less progressively minded will rue the loss of something in translation from tangible to intangible, and that the lower barriers to entry will create a loss of secrecy and exclusivity paramount to maintaining secrets, not to mention the fact that we're already too dependent on technology. But you know what? Both camps are right. And in this episode, we're going to dive in and explore the topic in more depth with what I hope will be a nuanced and thoughtful approach. You ready? Let's go. There are a lot of arguments for each side, but we're going to restrict our discussion to what I hope the core issues are. As an erudite magician, I'm hoping that you'll keep an open mind and that regardless of where you stand right now, you'll consider the thoughts of both the pro and the con camp of magic ebooks. Based on my own polling via the Erudite Magic Digest, which if you haven't seen, I've got a link down below, but based on that polling, it appears that most of you will be using ebooks as a supplement, although there is a strong cohort that wants nothing to do with any kind of digital book. I want to thank Don's Magic and Books for sponsoring this episode of Erudite Magic. Don is one place I know that you won't have to take a chance like you would on a coin flip to know that you're going to be able to find a book at a great price to add to your magic library. He offers a complete spectrum of magic books, everything from the latest and greatest to older, out-of-print titles that are hard to come by in physical format. So if you love magic books as much as I do, then check out Don's website via the link that I'm going to drop down in the description below. I know that once you start shopping with him, you'll qualify for fast and free shipping quickly with his minimum thresholds in the United States. And you'll love working with someone that you know loves magic books as much as you and me. So head over to Don's website this week, check out what he has to offer, and tell him I sent you. Let's talk about the pros. I think the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about pros of ebooks are the cost and availability. The cost is less than a traditional magic book, which will allow more magicians to acquire the books and also to build a bigger library overall. I can't speak to all ebooks, but I know that Vanishing Ink is selling their ebooks for 75% of the normal value of a hard print, or if you add it on, the savings are even bigger. But not only that, availability is better because a publisher can make an out-of-print title available again without thinking about what the market demand is before considering things like print costs, shipping, distribution, and marketing. So we'll be able to acquire some of those titles as long as you're willing to accept them as an ebook. Not only that, ebooks are much easier to use than a traditional magic book. And by that I mean that you'll be able to search through available books to find what you're looking for, whatever topic is of interest to you at the moment, and you'll be able to search in the book that has the topic to find the specific chapter and verse that you're looking for in your research. Say, for example, that you're researching double lift techniques, and you can't remember exactly where you read about that one specific thing that has some verbiage that you remember. The good news is with ebooks, you'll be able to find which book it is that you're thinking about and then get to the write-up faster, which I can't really see a downside to being able to find things more quickly and easily than you can with the traditional books on your shelf. But of course, one of the biggest advantages is portability and storage. When you have a physical library, you have to categorize and maintain it, of course. And as your library grows and expands, if you don't have a big physical space, then you'll be restricted in what you can have available at your fingertips. Or for example, if you're traveling, let's say on vacation, then you'll have to be selective about your choices. With ebooks, that's not really a concern anymore since your entire library can fit basically on your phone or tablet. But it's not all sunshine and roses with magic ebooks. There are some significant downsides we need to consider as well. I think a primary concern for me is that authors and publishers could resort to churning out content without any thought to care and consideration or quality, if you will, that we've come to expect from a book that's in a physical format. This has historically historically been a legitimate issue, and we've all seen some authors and publishers rush a product to market, whether that's through self-publication or ebook publishing, which is why the reputation of the publisher and the author will continue to be a big deal. But I think as long as publishers treat ebooks as a supplement to a physical printing, we can cross our fingers that quality will remain high, whether that is in ink or in pixels. The loss of tangible products concerns some, especially when it comes to secondary and black markets. When you have a physical copy of a book, it's obvious that it belongs to you and you're free to do with it what you want. If you decide that you're no longer into that aspect of magic, you can get rid of it, sell it to a friend, give it away. The choice is yours. And within the world of digital books, it becomes a little more murky. Once you've acquired the book, what rights do you have to get rid of it or to reclaim some of your money in order to buy something else? That riddle really hasn't been solved for the most part. So you might be stuck with a book that you really have no more interest in. And of course, far worse yet, many are concerned that making ebooks will just make it easier for pirates. And that also is a possibility. But as long as magicians want to support creators, and I believe in magicians, I don't think that pirates stand a chance long term. We'll always be fighting them. We have always fought them. And I don't know that ebooks completely changes that game at all. If someone's not willing to pay for the content of a book, they're going to find a way to get it whether or not the ebook is available. Now with ebooks, I feel like everyone who's used the excuse that a book wasn't available or they wanted it as an ebook will now have to put up or shut up. And of course, ebooks do pose a small threat to magic shops everywhere, because now the publisher will have exclusive rights to distribute this, meaning that a lot of magic shops who support the printed word by stocking magic books will be at a disadvantage. And I've been around to watch magic shops go under. Like any disruptive technology, there's always going to be a change in the market and things will have to adapt. We'll see how this one plays out. My answer to the pros and cons, I think we should embrace the positives of ebooks and everything that they bring to the table, embrace the relentless march of technology, if you will, while we help to negate or slow down the cons as much as possible. And from what I've seen in my newsletter polling, it looks like you're planning to do exactly that. As for me, I'm going to continue to acquire physical books. There's something about being there in the same space with a physical book I've talked about before, and I just love having that book in my hands. However, I am starting to change my behavior slightly and embrace ebooks as a supplement to my physical library. And if you have the space and budget, I think that's a great way to go. You'll be able to research much faster and more, and of course, you'll be able to take your library with you on the go when you're doing things like vacation at the beach. But we need to continue to hold ebook publishers to a high standard and ensure that we not only don't partake in piracy, but we call it out when we see it. Whether you choose ebooks or physical books or some sort of in-between of the two, I think Jamie Ian Swiss's words are still true. I'm a book, nothing less, nothing more. Now sit down with me for a while, put your feet up, and let's spend some time together. And as with any good book, like a good friend, it will be time well spent. He wrote those words in Genie magazine referring to the card magic of Nick Trost. And if you want to know what I think about the card magic of Nick Trost, check out this video. As always, my friends, I appreciate you watching. And until next time, keep reading.